Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy T for 365 Horror Vlogs, the channel where we attempt to watch every single horror movie in existence. And in today's video, we have another one of our new release videos for you guys. This one is for the week of November 21st, 2022. So let's get right into it. Now we are going to get right into it, but before we do, I've got to remind you guys to please like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. The best way to watch this video is to watch with almost like a movie tracker. I personally like to use Letterboxd. I just find that it's the easiest one. That way you can kind of follow along with this video and you can just add the movies to your watch list. That way, if they move the release dates or anything, you've always got these movies locked in. And with that, let's get right into the movies. We are going to get started this week with a movie called Something in the Dirt, releasing on VOD. Maverick filmmaking duo Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead offer up a twisted reflection of our paranoid times in this inventive mix of buddy comedy and sci-fi thriller. It is directed by Justin Benson and Aaron Moorhead. So after watching the trailer for Something in the Dirt, it looks like an interesting movie. I've always kind of wrestled with whether or not supernatural is real, funny enough with how much horror I watch. So it's kind of interesting that they kind of delve more deeper into whether there is supernatural, where it comes from. It looks like they maybe open some doors to other worlds. In the trailer, they kind of say that it answers the questions you've always asked. So it's going to be interesting to kind of get their perspective on the afterlife or spirituality or whatever they're going to do. This is a comedy horror, which aren't always my favorites, but I do like the actual premise of this movie. So it might be something interesting and something I'm adding to my watch list.
If we're going to try to prove the supernatural, we're gonna need some kind of visuals, or people won't believe it.
Next, we're gonna look at the movie Don't Look at the Demon, releasing on VOD. A team of paranormal investigators head for the highlands of Fraser's Hill, Malaysia, to probe a series of alleged disturbances at a house with a dark past. It is directed by Brando Lee. So after watching the trailer for Don't Look at the Demon, it looks like kind of a traditional haunted house turned into possession type of movie. It looks like it has some pretty good jump scares. You get a lot of the kind of demonic voice, the dark eyes, possession, lots of bloodiness, lots of dragging around, levitation. So this could be a really fun possession film. It looks like it's pretty bloody. You see a lot of parts where maybe disturbing things are happening. People are beating their heads up against walls, blood running from in between a woman's legs. You know what I mean? I don't know if that means miscarriage, period. You know, just weird happenings. So this could be a pretty dark movie. The acting didn't look too bad from the trailer, although it does look a little bit like it could get hokey. So we're just going to have to see it when it comes out. Add it to the watch list.
We moved in here around 6 months ago. Some pretty weird stuff started happening.
Moving right along, next we are going to look at a movie called Nocebo, releasing on VOD. A fashion designer is suffering from a mysterious illness that puzzles her doctors and frustrates her husband, until help arrives in the form of a Filipino carer who uses traditional folk healing to reveal a horrifying truth. It is directed by Lorcan Finnegan. After watching the trailer for Nocebo, it looks kind of like an interesting movie. It's almost got like the doctor comes to help out a woman who's maybe having some anxiety problems, and she turns out to be almost like a witch doctor. It kind of gets a little bit of the air of movies like The Nanny, where she almost starts to get jealous of them. I can't tell that for sure, but just the way she's always lurking around the corner in their intimate moments or trying to steal away the wife or whatever she's trying to do. In it, it looks like she does some pretty twisted things, taking away her meds and stuff. So we could get a character coming super unglued. It looks kind of interesting and one for the watch list.
She's controlling you.
I'm not the one who needs to control.
Stay out of my wife's head.
If her problems are in her head, I will find them and chase them out.
We're going to keep right on rolling, and we are going to look at the next movie, which is called Blood Relatives, releasing on SHUDDER. A vampire's loner lifestyle is thrown into disarray when a teenager shows up claiming to be his daughter, and she's got the fangs to prove it. On a road trip across America's blacktops, they decide how to sink their teeth into family life. It is directed by Noah Segan. After watching the trailer for Blood Relatives, it looks like it's kind of an interesting movie. It's about a daughter who finds her father, who is a vampire. They're both vampires, and it looks like they kind of traverse the country together. It looks like there's a lot of hijinks hiding him. She can go out in the light. She's a teenager, so you get a lot of kind of generation gap stuff happening. It looks like an interesting premise. It isn't really something I've heard of before, where they just kind of travel around killing people and whatnot. It could be kind of interesting. Other than that, the cinematography and all of the budget, it looks good enough. The acting, I've seen this actor before in a few movies, so I'm sure it's going to be a pretty competent piece of acting. Other than that, we have another comedy horror this week to put on the watch list.
You're feeling a little conflicted. You can imagine how I feel as a vampire who is also a teenager.
Find something that you and the kid connect on. Something you could do together.
Lastly, we are going to get into our last movie for the week, and that is Night of the Tommyknockers, releasing on VOD. When miners blast for gold in the 1870s, they accidentally release ancient creatures known as Tommyknockers. The town of Deer Creek, Nevada, is soon under siege with only a handful of survivors held up at the local saloon. It is directed by Michael Sue. After watching the trailer for Night of the Tommyknockers, it's nice to see a good old creature feature on the list. Although the creatures, I don't know exactly if I think they look amazing or not yet, they did look pretty, I don't know, undeadish and ghoulish. They didn't look horrible. It's gonna kind of see some of the movement looked a little bit hokey when I was watching the trailer, but we're gonna have to kind of see how it plays out. But either way, it looks like they kind of really get into some biting people and bloodiness and tearing people apart, so I'm sure there's gonna be some pretty good gore in this one. The setting looks all right. The acting and effects, from what I saw, they lit this dynamite and then they jump over something. It looks pretty iffy, but either way, this could be kind of an exciting creature feature to watch. One for the watch list.
Get inside. They're coming. What's coming?
You don't want to know.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for another one of these new release videos. I hope you liked this content, and if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the bell. We had a couple pretty interesting movies on there. If you just leave in the comments which ones you guys are looking forward to. For me, I think the two that I'm going to really gravitate towards this week are Don't Look at the Demon is going to be the first one. It just looks like a really good old school exorcism, possession film, deep voices, you know, like all of that good stuff. So that looks kind of interesting. And the next one's probably going to be Nocebo. Just two movies that actually look scary. I'm not always into the comedy horrors. I'm not saying that they're horrible. I'm just saying I'm not always into them, so I'm always kind of looking more for myself to be scared. Although I will give an honorable mention to Something in the Dirt, just because it is a premise that I haven't seen guys actually out to prove the existence of supernatural and stuff. It's supposed to have kind of some interesting elements, so that could be something cool to watch. Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.